On the record in State of Arizona versus Ramon Bueno, CR 2014-149887-001. Let the record reflect the presence of counsel and the defendant. The jury is not present. The witness is in the room. Is there anything we need to address before we bring in the jury?
No, Your Honor.
Will you be playing the audio through your computer?
Yes.
Okay.
And we practiced this morning before court came in.
Okay. Anything from you, Mr. Lorenz?
Your Honor, I think, should we approach?
Sure. Yes. Yes.
Let's bring in the jury, please. And if the witness would like to resume the witness stand, thank you.
All rise for the jury.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. There are some housekeeping issues I wanted to address with you before we continue with the examination of the witness, and those relate to trial exhibits. So a reminder to all of you, as I explained in the initial or preliminary jury instructions, whenever an exhibit has been asked to have been admitted and is admitted, then it is available to you for your consideration in determining whether or not you find that the state has met its burden. Whenever an exhibit is admitted into evidence, it will be available for you for review upon conclusion of the trial when you are deliberating. So if you are back in the jury room and you wrote down exhibit, and I'm going to pick a number out of a hat, 552, and you want to see exhibit 552, it will be in a box available for you to pull out, review, take a look at it, see what it says. Similarly, if it's an audio file, or if it's a video file and it's played for you here in the courtroom, you will later have an opportunity and the equipment to play that as many times as you might want to. Not saying you need to do that, but you have that available to you. What is not admitted into evidence are police reports. Those are not admitted into evidence and will not be admitted into evidence. Similarly, as I said when we started, you will not receive a transcript of anything that was said in court. You will not receive a transcript of any of the audio recordings either. So if you want to go back and listen to or view a video or audio file, you may, but the court does not provide transcripts of any of that, and I will not be giving you transcripts of any of the testimony. So with those preliminary remarks, we will continue with the direct examination of the witness.
Thank you, Judge. Detective Butcher, you were the individual that interviewed Lori Richardson twice and also were there when she was interviewed by the defense. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did she consistently throughout all of her interviews indicate that it was Ramon, well, I should say in the second interview and then with the defense team, that it was Ramon Bueno who was seated behind her?
Yes.
Was she asked that numerous times by different individuals?
Yes, she was.
And was this on October 20th of 2014? Yes. And in the fall, I believe October of 2016, by the defense investigator?
Yes.
And did she ever waver and indicate that Danny was instead the person who was seated behind her?
No, she did not.
And so she consistently identified the defendant as being the individual seated behind her and the shooter?
Correct.
Did she also indicate that she saw the silhouette of a gun following the first shot behind her?
Yes.
Was there a train surveillance that was captured as part of this investigation based upon her, Lori Richardson's, statements?
Yes.
Was this corroboration regarding what she said happened after the fact?
Yes, it was.
Was there also surveillance at AZ Brokers where the three women went, surveillance video that was captured to corroborate what she said?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there corroboration found as it related to the roof of her Sable regarding where the shots were coming from?
Yes.
Just had it marked. I'm going to show you, if I could use the Elmo. A series of photographs Exhibit 243, which has been admitted. Who is this that we are looking at here?
Richardson.
Exhibit 238.
Valeria Jaime.
236.
Vanessa Martinez.
Now, on October 15th, were there photographs taken of Mr. Bueno and Mr. Vargas?
Yes, ma'am.
Exhibit 227.
Danny Vargas.
Danny Vargas?
Yes.
Was it significant to the investigation, the hairstyle of Danny Vargas?
Yes, it was.
Was it significant to the investigation, the age range or the approximate age of Mr. Vargas?
Yes, ma'am.
And Exhibit 190 that has been admitted.
Ramon Bueno.
And during the interview with Ramon Bueno, did he indicate that he had shaved his goatee off 2 days prior to the interview on October 15th of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
Exhibit 233. What are we looking at here?
That is the back of Danny Vargas.
Why was it important to capture what the back of Danny Vargas looked like?
The white patch there, the gauze, is covering up a bullet wound or a bullet hole.
And in fact, did investigators take that bandage off and look at the actual hole in the back?
Yes.
And was that consistent with the gunshot wound?
Yes, it was.
And was that consistent with what you learned as part of this investigation regarding where individuals were during this shooting?
Yes, that would have corresponded with him sitting on the back passenger side of the vehicle.
And was there physical evidence related to the seat in the back rear passenger side of the vehicle where there was an actual hole?
Yes, ma'am.
The state moves Exhibit 274 into evidence.
No objection.
Exhibit 274 is admitted, may be published.
Thank you, Your Honor. Did you and other investigators, as we discussed, review the surveillance video from the trains based upon what you had learned from both people calling in
Yes.
and from Lori Richardson?
Yes.
And the footage that we're about to review, was that footage that was captured in the area of Grant Street and the I-17?
Yes.
In Exhibit 272, was it of value to capture that surveillance video based upon the other locations that you learned about from Lori Richardson?
Yes, ma'am.
For the record, we are now playing Exhibit, I believe, 275.
Wait, 270 what?
274, Your Honor, I apologize.
Thank you.
And the timestamp on Exhibit 274 before we begin indicates 3:07 a.m. in the morning, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that within minutes to be more accurate, of the shots fired 998 that was put out by the Phoenix Police Department?
Yes.
What is it that we are looking at here, Detective?
That is the Mercury Sable traveling westbound on a dirt road adjacent to the railroad tracks.
And at approximately 1 minute, was there something else of value that we will see at 3:09:20?
Yes.
What are we looking at there, Detective?
2 males, Danny Vargas, Ramon Bueno, crossing in front of the train, walking south and then west.
Does it appear there that the shorter male had a grayish t-shirt on,
Yes.
light colored t-shirt? What direction of travel are they going, Detective?
They're traveling westbound.
Now, as part of this investigation, we could turn that off. Thank you. As part of this investigation, the assistant case agent, Detective Anthony Mraz, met with James Casey very shortly after he had major surgery. Is that fair?
Yes, it is.
And was the reason that photographic lineups were shown to him on October 9th, was there an investigative reason?
Yes, it was an active investigation. We wanted to try to see if Officer Casey would be able to identify the subjects involved in the investigation. It was determined to show him photographic lineups.
Now, is that ideal to show someone those photographic lineups in the condition that he was in?
No, it was not.
Why was the decision made to do that instead of waiting 2 to 3 weeks?
Because of the seriousness of the investigation, and again, to try to identify and solidify the suspects involved.
been involved in investigations where an individual is under the influence of prescribed medication who may be groggy.
Yes,
However, if later interviewed, has a clear memory of what happened following, for example, in this case, Officer Casey had major surgery to his face, correct?
yes.
Now, I'm going to show you what's been, statement was Exhibit 50 to evidence at this time.
No objection.
Exhibit 50?
50, Your Honor.
Exhibit 50 is admitted and may be published.
Before we talk about what's in Exhibit 50 and the photographic lineups that were shown to Officer Casey, could you tell us about the process or the protocol that's used before showing an individual a photographic lineup?
Prior to showing a lineup, you read from a small index card the photographic lineup advisement statement, advising the person that you're showing the lineup to that I'm going to show you a group of photos. The person may or may not be in the group of photos. Keep in mind hairstyles, beards, mustaches are easily changed. A facial complexion may also change. If you recognize anybody, tell me why and from where. That's a summary of that advisement that is read before showing the lineups.
Now, was that photographic lineup read to Officer Casey on October 9th?
Yes, it was.
Now, at that time, I believe we talked about it, but he was unable to speak because he was intubated.
Correct.
However, did he communicate through signing the photographic lineup?
Yes.
And also, and I apologize, I interrupted you, scribbling a couple of notes to Tony Ross.
Yes, he did.
I'm going to show you from Exhibit 50, and did you give me permission to publish your own?
I did, thank you.
Exhibit 50, lineup 83006. And because this was a different detective's report, would it refresh your recollection and fairness to you to look at that when indicating what Trooper Casey said? Yes. I believe that's without objection, Your Honor.
All right,
That's correct.
thank you.
Who did Trooper Casey indicate someone in lineup 83006?
Yes.
And was that person number 2?
Yes.
And who did he say at least that person looked like the driver? I'm sorry, where did he say that person was in the car? I'm jumping ahead.
She was the driver of the vehicle.
And so that's who Trooper Casey identified as
Correct.
the driver. Now, in fairness, Lori Richardson was in number 6, right?
Yes.
But based upon the investigation, were there any other African-American females in the car that evening, the night of the shooting?
No, there were not.
So did it make sense that he identified African-American females being the driver, based
Yes.
upon what you learned?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you from Exhibit 50, lineup 9166. And did Trooper Casey with lineup 9166 indicate that someone who looked like that lineup may have been in the vehicle that night?
Yes, and I believe the number is 91666. Could I just see the top of the photograph, please? Or the lineup?
I missed a digit. Thank
Yes.
you. And where did he say the person, first did he identify number 1 with his initials as being in the car?
Yes, he did.
And where did he say that he believed the person, number 1, was in the vehicle?
Center rear passenger seat.
And in fact, was Vanessa Martinez, was she in the front passenger seat?
Yes.
And did she, so she was in the vehicle that night?
Yes, she was.
It also Trooper Casey on the back of 83006, right? But he also remembered that the driver was driving Kansas plate.
Yes.
Now I'm going to put 91665 up on the screen. Trooper Casey identified someone from 91665 as being in the car the night of the shooting.
Yes, he did.
Who was that?
Valeria Jaime.
And she was in number 2 position?
Yes.
And he also signed his initials there?
Yes, he did.
And where did he say that she was in the vehicle?
Front passenger seat.
And based upon the investigation, he identified Valeria Jaime as being in the vehicle, correct?
Yes, he did.
Correctly?
Yes, he did.
He just put her in the front passenger seat.
Correct.
I'm now going to put exhibit 83031 up on the screen. Who did Trooper Casey identify in 83031?
Danny Vargas.
And is that Danny Vargas in the number 3 position?
Yes, it is.
Where did he say Danny Vargas was in the vehicle on the night of the shooting?
In the rear passenger seat, adjacent to the rear passenger side window.
And is that consistent with what you learned through witness interviews, for example, with Lori Richardson?
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, we'll talk about it, but you did an interview with Trooper Casey, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And was this consistent with what Trooper Casey told you?
Yes, it was.
Line up 83030.
Yes.
Now, what are we looking at here?
This is a photographic lineup with Ramon Bueno in the number 2 position.
And Trooper Casey on October 9th, while in the hospital, indicated it was the person in the number 1 position.
Yes.
And he actually said that was the shooter, correct?
Yes.
Was it significant to the investigation that, I'm going to put 83031 up next to 83030, that there was a stark difference in physical appearance between Danny Vargas and Ramon Bueno?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it significant to the investigation that Ramon Bueno had a goatee on the night of the shooting,
Yes.
and Danny Vargas did not?
Correct.
And was it significant to the investigation that James Casey had described the shooter as being much older than the other individuals in the car?
Yes.
Is he much older than the other individuals in the car?
Yes, he is.
Was he around the age of 38 on the night of the shooting?
Yes.
And was everyone else in the car much younger?
Yes.
Now, he didn't get it right. He actually indicated it was the person at number 1, right?
Yes.
Tell us how these photographic lineups are created by investigators.
The lineups are created utilizing the subject that we want in the lineup, and then the computer generates or randomly selects up to 500 different photographs. The detective then picks images that are similar in characteristics to the subject, the known subject in the lineup, and the computer randomly places the 5 other photographs in various orders in the lineup.
Did Trooper Casey also write a note to Tony Mraz, Detective Mraz, because he couldn't, again, communicate orally?
Yes, he did.
And is that what we have from Exhibit 50 up on the Elmo?
Yes.
Did he write, "Do you have my police outer carrier"?
Yes, he did.
And did he also write, "I had their IDs, registration in pockets"?
Yes.
Was it also important to you as the case agent where Valeria Jaime was shot?
Yes.
Why was that, Detective?
It would correspond to the investigation with the vehicle in that the bullet hole on the center rear seat would correlate to where her right shoulder was, or her right arm was.
As the car was speeding away, were shots being fired by Ronaldo Cruz and Mike Alfano
Yes, they were.
in that direction of fire the second time around?
Yes.
The state moves Exhibit 271 into evidence, Your Honor.
Without objection.
Exhibit 271 is admitted and may be published.
Thank you, Judge. Who was with you when you interviewed the defendant on October 15th?
Yes, Detective Hugo Lopez.
And is it common to have two investigators in an interview room regarding a serious case like this?
Yes.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. And I think we talked about it before. There were things that were unrelated to this investigation or not relevant, like sleeping and water breaks that were redacted. Is that fair?
That's correct.
And things that were talked about that were not important to your investigation.
Yes.
Is this the investigation, Detective?
Yes.
I'm sorry, the interview?
Yes, that's the very beginning of the interview. When
In a perfect world, the Phoenix Police Department in 2014 wouldn't have horrible audio.
Correct.
So that buzzing is part of the interview, correct?
Yes.
No disrespect, but you're asking because we didn't want to know, or
Yeah.
with all due respect, like everybody else.
No, I just met you. I just come in there asking how you're doing.
I don't mean no disrespect, man.
That's fine.
But they beat the shit out of me out there. Nasty, nasty.
I'm Detective Butcher, my partner, Detective Lopez. Do you want some water or soda or anything?
Yeah, but I do. They stomped on my head. They
You want
stomped
fire?
on my knees.
Do you want fire to come take a look at you?
I just need to let me look up.
Do you want fire to come look at you?
Whoever that. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Do you want water or soda?
Please. Water.
Now, prior to the interview, did investigators in any way threaten the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Did you guys promise him anything in return to talk to you?
No.
And in fact, he complained that he was treated poorly during his arrest by the arresting officers, correct?
Yes, he did.
Ultimately, are we going to see that you asked the fire department personnel to check him out and bring him to a hospital to be checked?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Just to ensure that there was nothing wrong with him and that he was okay to further proceed in the interview.
Yes. I didn't mean no disrespect, but you want something to snack on? Yes, please. What do you want? Like what? Chips? Cookies? Some sweet cookies.
At this point, is Detective Lopez getting water and cookies for the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you complaining? Well, like, what are you hurting from or whatever? They stomped on my head. Who stomped on your head? They were covered. They were your officers. Okay. So they stomped on my back. What do you need? I'm hurting, dude. Like what, though? Like, your back hurts? I have chronic disc disease on my lower back already. So you got back pain? They stomped on my head on each side. They laughed and made fun and thought that I was lucky. That I was lucky. But I wasn't. They just bumped heads. The guy back of the house misunderstood the guy in the front.
Detective, when there is an individual who is wanted, who is arrested like this, are there frequently specialized teams that arrest the defendant
Yes, there are.
or the suspect? In this case, was there a specialized team?
Yes, either street crimes or special assignments.
Now, are there always multiple supervisors who are present for these arrests?
Yes.
Are there always multiple recording devices to capture these incidents?
Yes.
And in this case, was this a rather large team that was there to include supervisors from the Phoenix Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anything learned to suggest that the defendant was beaten in any manner?
No.
And in fairness, he had a scrape to his cheek, correct?
Yes.
Try to get shot. Dude jumped up and stopped while my knees was on the side.
You got knee pain?
I don't mean no disrespect.
So you got knee pain and back pain
in my shoulder.
your shoulder.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
So if they say that they ask, it's knee, back, and shoulder.
Yeah.
Please don't take this as no disrespect, but like everybody else, I feel you guys don't care.
There's your water in there.
Thank you, but I apologize.
All right. They're on their way. And it's Ramon Bueno, right?
Ramon Bueno.
What's your birthday, Ramon?
5/13/75. I'm 39 years old.
So at that point, I may have misstated. He was 39, not 38, correct?
Correct.
Social is 527.
Okay. Go ahead and advise you of your rights.
And he provided his identifying social security number and other stuff like his address, correct?
Yes, he did.
But that's been redacted from this video for obvious privacy issues?
Correct.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to the presence of an attorney to assist you prior to questioning and to be with you during questioning if you so desire. If you cannot afford an attorney, you have the right to have an attorney appointed for you prior to questioning. Do you understand these rights, Ramon?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you living at right now?
On the streets.
Where are you
What did you say when you said, where are you living?
On the street?
staying?
Yes.
Where were you staying tonight?
Didn't get that far yet.
You didn't get that far.
As far as where I was going to sleep.
Okay. Okay. Where were you the morning of, it was Wednesday morning, October 8th? So it was roughly about a week ago.
I can honestly not answer that.
You can't answer me?
Not that I'm not gonna talk, but I'm not gonna talk, but not that I'm saying that I'm not gonna answer you, but I wasn't there.
Was it important to the investigation that before you told him what you were going to talk about, he said, I wasn't there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
3 people in the back. Officer shot, but only 2 got hit.
So 3 people, you're saying 3 people in the back, 2?
You guys telling me on the news,
Okay.
saying the officers opened fire back and shot.
Was it important to the investigation that he kept saying that the officers fired back?
Yes,
Why?
because that would indicate to me there was an initial shooting to cause them to return fire or shoot back.
Was it also important to you that he wanted to discuss at great length that there were, in his opinion, only 2 people in the back of the car?
That is correct.
Why is that, Detective?
There were actually 3 people. He was trying to distance himself or take himself out of the equation of being in the vehicle.
Towards the car.
Right.
Don't you think everybody in the back could have got shot?
Everybody.
Was it important to you that he knew that 2 of the 3 people had been shot?
Yes,
Was the fact that 2 of the 3 people had been shot, had that been broadcast over the news?
no, it had not.
In the back could have got shot. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
2 got shot.
Right. So you're saying there were only 2 people back there is what you're saying?
I'm saying I'm being blamed and put there.
Okay. So if you weren't in the vehicle, which is what you're claiming, correct? Where were you?
That's what I mean. I can't honestly answer that.
Because you don't remember?
I was with all due respect.
Whose house were you at, Ramon?
Don't know. It's a friend.
Do you know the friend's name?
Since what's been going on, everybody's been turning their back on me. People not.
Was it important that he would not provide the name of the house, of the person's house he was at?
Yes,
Was it important that he said that everyone was turning their back on him?
yes.
Why?
If he hadn't done anything wrong, there would be no reason for people to turn their backs on him.
Saying their names or shit like that. So when I tell you I don't know, I really mean I don't know.
So how do you get up to that house then? You're at a house today, right? Okay, how did you get up there?
I walked.
What time did you get there?
Did he indicate that he walked to the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he change his story later?
Yes.
Pay attention. If I tell you guys I don't want to talk to you guys, don't take that away.
Take what away? No,
Or they might.
that's yours.
Because my head's spinning. And that's not an excuse, but
We take it slowly, that's fine by me.
I'm not gonna perjure, how you say it, fuck myself up. As far as
And I'm not
Was it important that he started to use the term perjury or perjure myself?
Yes.
Why is that?
He didn't want to get himself twisted up and have to figure out another way out from what he was telling me on his statement.
He also used the term that he didn't want to, his words not mine, fuck himself up.
Correct.
Is that by answering your questions?
Yes.
saying the wrong thing or showing disrespect or however, with all the respect you guys think
Let me ask
feel
you
about
this.
me,
Let me ask you this, Ramon. Do you want to talk to your mom?
I actually do.
You know why I know that?
because I know that you're close to your mom. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what you're doing right now, okay?
Yes.
And I know you're straight right now. And there's nothing wrong with your mom,
That's fine.
okay? I'll let you talk to your mom, but you need to give us some information about what happened.
I wasn't there, man, regardless of...
I'm going to let you talk to your mom.
He said, I wasn't there regardless, though?
Correct.
And so he maintained that position?
Yes.
Mom.
And I appreciate it, but
Okay.
you allowed that.
But you need to help me out.
Mr.
Lopez.
Lopez. I'm not gonna sit here and show you guys and you guys disrespect by...
I understand that. Look at
I
you're in
want
trouble.
these days-
You already know you're in trouble. You know why you're here. We're not stupid. You're not stupid. We're not thinking you're stupid. Okay?
I just
You need
gave
to
up
help.
right now, dude.
You need to help yourself out, bro. Okay? If you want to ever see your mom again, if you ever want to talk to her again, right now's the time to man up and just tell us what
You
happened.
really think
I'm gonna
me being a mama's boy that all the pain she went through,
I'm gonna let you talk to her right now. What's her number?
that I would want to see her? Because
I know you do. I know.
Oh, I know that, but understand my ways, my morals is family and respect.
I know it is. So I'll let you talk to her.
Everybody here and there was telling me how the officers were harassing my mom. She's sick. Imagine it being your mom.
She wasn't harassed.
But you understand what I'm saying?
I can promise you she wasn't harassed.
But can you understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Not me,
But you
the
guys
way
are
I
in
am.
trouble.
Me, I know. And before you guys came in, they were all laughing, whether you guys were there, with all due respect. At
We
that
weren't
time,
there.
no.
The thing is, Ramon,
I
you all-
understand the type of situation. I mean,
well, no, let me speak for my partner and I, okay? Just hear me out. I can't tell you why officers behave a certain way, okay? I don't know.
I don't blame. I don't.
Hear me out, though, okay? You, just like we don't know you, and we know a little bit about you, we know a little bit about your background, but we're not going to sit here and judge you based on other people, based on people who you run with, people who you associate with. Just like we would appreciate it if you don't mix us in with other officers.
I don't mean to, but when
well, no.
you have a whole, basically a busload of them, telling me bring them this way, I can't promise you nothing.
People do their jobs differently, okay?
I don't blame them for what has been done.
Okay, and
I
we just...
honestly, 100% honestly, don't blame them.
When you were looking for Lori Richardson, Danny Vargas, Ramon Bueno, Vanessa Martinez, and Valeria Jaime, were you looking at where they had lived in the past,
Yes,
who they had associated with?
correct.
And is that common every time you were looking for an individual or a witness or a victim in a case?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, like I said, you know, I understand that, you know, you have feelings about how you were treated and stuff, but you don't know us, and we're just here to talk to you about what went on. And particularly, I would like to know about, you know, what information you have or may not have reference to traffic stop where the officer was shot. And you were telling me about them, you know, 3 people in the back, and then only 2 got shot.
Let me explain real quick. And Mr. Lopez, I'm in pain every day, dude. With all due respect, I mean every day. That it's rare that something you will overpower that pain. I understand.
Did he indicate that he was in chronic pain because of a back injury that he's had for a long time?
Yes.
But I am in pain, dude. You know what I mean? But I meant as far as me seeing on the news and going back to the news that you say.
You know, we'll let Ira take a look at him.
At that point in the interview, what is happening here, Detective?
Phoenix Fire Department has arrived, and they're going to begin treating and assessing Ramon Bueno.
Is that frequently done when anyone is being interviewed and they complain of pain?
Can I take my shirt off?
Yeah. Well, I'll get his cup key. Hang on 1 second.
I hope you get it in the next game.
What?
And please don't disrespect us.
No, you leave those on.
No, leave them on, man.
Let me see what you got. What are you complaining about? Is it on your back? Collarbone there? That's never...
They literally jump and stomp on my knee sideways.
This shoulder right here?
No.
Let me see.
My head.
As we discussed, was he taken to the hospital and quickly discharged? Less than 2.5 hours later, was he back at the Phoenix Police Department, and did you resume the interview?
Yes, I did.
Come bearing gifts. Like you looking for them? Yeah. Right side down, keep it warm. Thank you.
Is it cold in the Phoenix Police Department interview rooms?
Yes.
What was just given to Mr. Bueno?
A blanket.
You mind if I lay down?
We're gonna sit up right just a little bit. Somebody's gonna be in just...
You want something to drink? Snack, anything like that?
Yeah, okay.
What's your right? Candy bar, chips?
I'm not greedy. I'm not picky or
Coke, Pepsi,
water.
water? You want a candy bar or chips?
Okay.
You got all checked out and everything?
Yeah.
Doing all right? Feel better?
That broken supposedly. It just wasn't that high. But everything he said was good.
Everything checks out?
Yeah, the only thing that's painful is
Was it your knee?
it's gonna be worse later on and all.
A little bit swollen and stuff?
Is he now just sharing with you that he got checked out?
Yes.
Snack, anything like that?
Yeah, okay.
What's your right? Candy bar, chips?
I'm not greedy. I'm not picky or
Coke, Pepsi,
water.
water? You want a candy bar or chips?
Okay.
You got all checked out and everything?
Yeah.
Doing all right? Feel better?
That broken supposedly. It just wasn't that high. But everything he said was good.
Everything checks out?
Yeah, the only thing that's painful is
Was it your knee?
it's gonna be worse later on and all.
Had the defendant sustained any gunshot wounds?
No, he did not.
A little bit swollen and stuff?
Somebody put footprint.
Huh.
Thank you.
Okay. When we left here, you had just started talking about how you had it.
Okay, what I was saying, I was repeating what the news lady was saying.
Okay.
And what I was saying.
What is the defendant indicating to you there?
He was relaying information about what the news had said.
Was it important to you that, in fact, the news didn't talk about the interior of the Mercury Sable,
Yes, ma'am.
or who was injured,
Correct.
or where individuals were in the car specifically?
Correct.
What she was telling me is 5 people in the car.
Okay.
Three in the back, two in the front.
Three in the back, two in the front, gotcha.
When the officers fired back, and they showed the car on the flatbed,
Okay.
basically everybody's back should have got hit.
That's just what you're thinking?
Did the news share exactly the sequence of what happened at the Knights Inn?
No, it did not.
Did the news share, or the media share exactly where the vehicle's direction of travel was? I will say the Mercury Sable's direction of travel throughout the two shooting sequences.
No.
Is it common to shield that information from the media?
Yes, it is.
Why is that, Detective?
To ensure only those involved or direct eyewitnesses would have information like that. If we divulged everything to the media, we wouldn't know who was actually an eyewitness and or a suspect, versus if we keep things to ourselves that only investigators know, and someone provides us information, then we will be able to determine if they were there and maybe an eyewitness who had not come forward initially or a suspect.
Okay.
Well, from what I seen on the car,
What'd you see on the car?
on the news, when they were taking it on the flatbed,
Right,
it was
but-
all like going to a gunfight.
Okay. So did you see bullet holes on the car then?
No,
On the
as far as
news?
up front, no, everything is on the news.
No, but you said it looked like it had been in a gunfight, the car?
Yes, well, because everything's when the newspaper are telling you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's nothing that
And-
you specifically saw on the car, it's what the news was telling you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two got hit, one at the third one.
Okay.
That's the only thing, basically what I was saying.
Was it important that he was indicating again that two had gotten hit?
Okay.
So,
And Vanessa in the front seat, did she get hit by gunfire?
No, she did not.
Did Lori Richardson get hit by gunfire?
No.
It was just Valeria and Danny sitting in the back seat who were hit?
Correct.
And we had just kind of started touching on this. Where were you the morning of October 8th, which would have been a week ago, a week and a day now?
when that happened,
Yeah.
everywhere, running around everywhere.
Okay.
You just said a week and a day. Is it now October 16th?
Yes. Just
Was it
past-
shortly after midnight that this was occurring on October 16th?
Yes.
And the first part of the interview was at late October 15th.
Correct.
That's why I said, that's why I can't give you a 100% honest answer to that because I'm moving around.
Okay. Did you have a cell phone at the time?
No.
Okay.
So why did he say he could not answer your question regarding where he was on the night of the shooting?
He was moving around. He had said he was everywhere.
Did you have a cell phone?
I got tired of basically they were getting jacked.
They're doing what?
They were taking it, stealing it.
Oh, your phone?
Yeah.
I'm jacking your phone.
So someone had, quote, jacked his phone?
Correct.
Did he later say that he gave his phone to Valeria?
Yes.
My SD cards, all that shit.
So when did you end up, or how did you end up at the house today?
Well, just went over there. There were two girls over there.
Okay. Do you know?
What was his answer there?
Was going to meet some girls over there.
Those girls?
That day I met them. One of them I met like a month ago or so. But went over there to visit with no intention as far as anything is. You know what I mean? But
And how did you end up getting over there? Did you walk? Did you drive? Did you ride a bicycle?
dropped off.
Dropped off.
Now he said he got dropped off at the house that day, correct?
Correct.
Was that different from what he said at the beginning of the interview?
Yes, initially he had said he walked over to the house.
And not to be disrespectful, I don't know what car, even though you know I did.
Okay.
What did he say right now regarding the vehicle that dropped him off?
He didn't want to be disrespectful, but wouldn't provide me the information.
Who did you go there with?
By myself.
Who did he go there with?
He was by himself.
And what time did you get there?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know at the time, but it wasn't late, but sometimes how it looks like morning or the sundown.
So it was still dark out?
No, it was still early.
Okay.
But it was
Before the sun went down?
no, it was like between. It wasn't in the afternoon and it wasn't in the morning, but it's just
Midday?
you know, sometimes it gets cloudy and it looks like it's almost nighttime,
Mhm.
something like that.
Okay.
That's the only one.
Would he indicate whether he got there in the morning, midday, or night?
He was kind of all over the place. He had said it wasn't dark, and he said it was dark, and it was sun up. So I estimated it to be kind of mid-morning.
I don't know how to explain it.
Did he say he didn't know how to explain the time of day that he got to the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I've been living my days day for day.
So we back up to this morning when the officer shot. When do you hear about it?
The officer shot.
Yeah.
On the news when somebody fucking came and that knew where I was at.
Okay.
And they just went in there and turned on the TV.
What did he say regarding when he learned about the shooting of Officer Casey?
He said when somebody turned on the news and told him about it.
Did he indicate it was someone who, quote, knew where he was at?
Yes.
Do you know what day that was?
I found out like a day or two after.
When did he say he learned about the shooting?
A day or two after.
So he did not know about the shooting on the night of the shooting?
That's what he's saying, yes.
Where were you when you found out?
31st? Okay.
Okay. And was it a house, business?
Business. Laptops, the casino. Now they do that computer casino thing.
Okay.
Where did he say he found out about the shooting of Trooper Casey?
31st Avenue in Buckeye at a business where they had computers and stuff.
Would this be consistent with the Cold Air Cafe where there was surveillance video of him taken on the night of the shooting?
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
But he's saying he learned about it a day or two afterwards at that location?
Correct.
So
I didn't get on it, but I go, you know what I mean?
north side of the road or south side?
South.
Okay.
If you're going from east to west on Buckeye, it's before 31st Avenue on the left side.
And you're saying you were there a day or two after?
When I heard about it, yeah.
Had you been there before? Like
Yes.
the night before? Or?
Oh, there? About 2-3 times.
Okay. And was this the day before?
Honestly, I don't know. But I know when they turned on the news on TV, that's supposed to be for like the casino. That's when it came out.
So when you asked him at that point if he'd been at that Cold Air Cafe before, how many times did he say he had been there?
2 or 3 times.
Was he able to answer the question about whether he had been there in the days prior to him finding out about the shooting?
No, he didn't.
Why was this significant to you at that point in the interview, detective?
He was seen on video surveillance at the Cold Air Cafe just within an hour or so after the shooting.
Okay.
I think it was 9 o'clock in.
So
basically, but even though I have a alibi there, as far as that day, yeah, they will say no.
Okay. So you
Just
don't have,
they're not trying to get into nothing, so, like, you know.
Now, you said he had an alibi at that point in the interview, right?
Yes.
But he couldn't give you dates or times?
They gotta go and check, see if I was there, stuff like that. They got cameras, but they're not recording, as far as I know.
they're not recording.
Yeah, and they're not trying to get into any drama, this and that, so.
Were you there? The shooting happened on the early morning, Wednesday, October 9th. Okay. You're saying you were there.
Within 2 days.
Okay. And was it nighttime or daytime when you went to the casino? There, I'm referring to 31st Avenue and Buckeye.
It was dark,
Okay. Was it dark?
early.
Okay.
It's like, no, well, people would say late, but it's early because it's the next day.
After midnight?
Yeah,
Okay, so Thursday after midnight?
yes.
So it would really...
Now, this would have been the day after the shooting, correct?
That is correct.
24 hours later,
Yes.
when he said he found out about the shooting?
Yes.
Really be early Friday morning then, is it fair? Or Friday after midnight into Saturday? No? Okay, so Thursday.
I went there like 2 to 10 that day.
Okay, so sometime Thursday, October 9th.
It was 9 o'clock, it was the 9 o'clock news that I seen.
Okay,
And I took off, came back, came back.
okay. The day before, where were you as far as, what's that?
Party.
Okay, where, at a house, it is?
Oh,
Now, on the day of the shooting, what was his alibi?
He said he was at a party.
a trailer and 2 houses. That's all I can say.
At that point, where was the party at?
2 different houses?
You see a trailer in 2 different houses.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he about to go on to give a general area where these trailer in 2 different houses are?
Yes.
Or would he refuse to give more specific information?
I don't believe he gave information as far as addresses or areas.
Okay, and
But,
okay, where's the
the
trailer?
2 houses on the west area.
Okay, how far
That's,
west?
between McDowell and Campbell.
And what avenues or streets?
Between 43rd and 83rd, 67th.
Between 40,
So between McDowell and Camelback and 43rd and in the 80s of the avenues,
Correct.
2 houses
Yes.
and a trailer.
Yes.
43rd and 67th?
Yeah, 2 females.
2 females. Do you know their names?
Yeah, but what I can say, I'm not.
It's a way to get you out of the
Yeah,
jam.
but it's also a way of paperwork. For black and white, that will get me fucked up in there. You know that, with all due respect, you know that.
No, I'm trying to figure things out.
I understand, but, I mean, whether you guys believe me or not, whether I have an alibi or not. I actually do, but it's still, you know what I mean?
See, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Ramon.
I went camping,
Okay.
okay? I went to the casino, that's the only way.
Okay, now, what is his alibi?
He said that he went to the casino.
Did he also say he was camping?
Yes.
Back up.
Paperwork. For black and white, that will get me fucked up in there. You know that, with all due respect, you know that.
No, I'm trying to figure things out.
I understand, but, I mean, whether you guys believe me or not, whether I have an alibi or not. I actually do, but it's still, you know what I mean?
See, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Ramon.
I went camping,
Okay.
Okay. I went to the casino. That's the only way over there. It's passing Miami. Is the reservation over there.
Now where is the casino that he went to?
On the reservation in Miami?
Did he say it was past Miami?
Yes.
I went towards that way, and like I said, I don't know if I was telling you, but there's a mountain. It looks like a big old horse. And you're on the road, basically cruising on the side of the mountain, and if you look on the other side, you see the cars coming.
Okay.
So there's a mountain he's trying to refer you to in the area where he was camping?
Yes, on the other side of the mountain.
So basically, you're going to end up over there when you drive all the way around.
Okay.
And we passed Miami, so I don't know if it's Prescott or whatever, but it's
The town of Miami?
it's the casino over there for the res. Whatever the res towards that way is at, they have a casino.
Is he referring to a Native American reservation with a casino?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a couple, so you're going east, right? Or you're going south?
I don't know, I don't pay attention when I drive, but when I was on that road, I drove there. I drove all the way to the casino, really. So we passed Miami, we passed, there's a camping class. We had to go get the permits, camping permits.
Okay.
But as far as Alibi is that we didn't go to the casino all the time. We were actually camping.
So what is his alibi?
Camping again and the casino both.
Just to clarify, there's no confusion. Wednesday, the early morning, you're camping out there on the res.
Before that.
Okay. Tuesday?
No, it was before that. All is this. It won't add up.
Was it important to you in the investigation that he said it won't add up?
Yes.
Why is that?
The information he's providing, he's starting to get tripped up on and can't place himself where he really was on the morning of October 8th, which was inside the vehicle driven by Lori Richardson.
I don't know.
Wait, when do you leave for your camping?
We left. It was Thursday night.
Okay, before this happened.
We were there 4 days.
Okay, Thursday night.
We left Thursday night, but not really till it was morning already, Friday morning.
Okay.
We drove all the way there, so we basically got there like in the afternoon. It was already dark time, and it was cold. And
Fair to say it's...
that first, was the first day we got there, we went to the casino before we went to camping. I have, I don't know if you guys got my wallet.
And now is he saying that he went to the casino before he went camping?
Yes, on Thursday before.
But there's the membership card in there, and they could tell you what actually is a casino.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
So that's where you were Thursday. Or Friday, actually, because you leave out. And then...
when I came back, it was either before, during, or after. It was between them 3 days when I came back.
So now, when did he say he got back in relation to the shooting of Officer Casey, Cruz, and Alfano?
Before, during, or after the shooting.
So he's narrowed it down to one of the 3.
So you came back either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, being Tuesday the 7th.
No, I was already back here, but as far as settled,
Okay.
I never went camping. I know it sounds however it sounds, but I was there Thursday.
Was it significant that at that point he said, I know it sounds how it sounds?
Yes.
Why?
He's unable to keep his story straight, and I think he's confusing himself and trying to confuse me.
Some females invited me, so that's why I'm saying I was part.
Okay.
So
Now, who is he saying he was with?
A female?
I'm not. There's one female she fucked up. Excuse my language. Went cold turkey, lost her kids.
Now is he talking about someone he may be concerned about?
Yes.
And did he say there's a female that may have fucked up?
Yes.
Who is it you believe he was talking about?
Valeria Jaime?
Because did he talk about the fact that she may have lost her kids?
Yes.
And did he give identifying information?
Yes,
regarding Valeria, his girlfriend.
correct.
At some point, did he say, even though she may be snitching, he still loves her?
Yes.
What is snitching and that connotation in investigations where you've involved people involved in crime?
Ratting or telling law enforcement about what the other person's involved in.
Now, is snitching different from lying?
Yes,
Is snitching telling on someone what happened versus lying, making something up in that world?
correct.
Went cold turkey and
Ms. Dahl,
I'm not trying to get her.
would this be a good time for a break?
Absolutely.
All right. Break. Please remember the admonition applies. Do not discuss the case while you're on break, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Thank you.
All rise for the jury.
Can I have you please approach?
Yes.